Spider-Man is the greatest superhero of all time. This character has been an essential component of my life since I was 3 years old. Nearly every decision I make basically stems from the question, what would Spider-Man do? Whether it's the comic books, movies, So-So Popsicles, or slippers, I think there's a reason why Spider-Man has connected to me on such an astronomical level. You want to know why? Before I continue this video, I just want to I need one thing. We back, fellas. So I saw Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse a few days ago, and let me just say, it's been a very, very, very long time since I've related to Spider-Man on film. While I very much do like the recent films featuring Spider-Man, I don't think I've loved any Spider-Man movie since Spider-Man 3. I'm just realizing how many times I'm going to say the words Spider-Man throughout this video. To be completely honest, I think that stems from my inability to relate to the character, to relate to Peter Parker and Spider-Man. The recent films have either made Peter Parker and Spider-Man way, way, way too happy, or way, way, way too sad. There is no in between. That's not an issue with Spider-Verse. This movie presents two iconic interpretations of Spider-Man that I felt so utterly drawn to and compatible with. Miles Morales and Peter Parker are the two in question. In this film, Miles is a kid who is torn between the expectations of his parents, a cop and a nurse, and his desires to forge his own path as an artist. Miles is rooted within the mindset of the current generation, a cohort that I am a part of. Much like Miles, I can't see myself in an office job working 9 to 5, hating every single second I'm there. I need to create. When Miles is creating, he's at his happiest, but when he is being forced to dabble with the expectations of his parents, he's sad and uninspired. To contrast the pathos of Miles, the filmmakers craft an interpretation of Peter Parker that feels so honest and tragic. Peter is divorced, out of shape, and spends most of his time crying over Animal Planet documentaries. For a very, very, very long time, Peter has let people down. Every time he delivers a one-liner, you can feel the pain seeping through, hidden beneath his consistent smile. This is a Spider-Man who has spent his entire life running away from his problems, never attempting to right his mistakes, but just ignoring them. It's from these two interpretations of Spider-Man that the film generates its central themes of failure and a leap of faith. This movie is all about people screwing up and making mistakes. The whole reason why Peter Parker comes face to face with Miles anyway is because of the original Spider-Man's death, which leads to Kingpin's machine stuffing up. Going back even further than that, the entire reason why Kingpin wants to collide these universes is because of his failure as a father and husband.
Vanessa, please go!
This movie continuously beats and punches our lead characters until their faces are splattered across the concrete floor. But they always get up. Peter goes on about this whole leap of faith business and how you're never really ready for anything. You just have to take a leap of faith. And sometimes it doesn't work. To quote the character even further, sometimes things just happen. Not everything is your fault and not every problem needs your resolution. Every time we see Miles or Peter fall, we want them to get up. We want them to try again. And that's just not because they're the lead characters in the Spider-Man movie. That's because the audience feels like we are the lead characters in the Spider-Man movie. When Miles forces Peter to travel back to his own dimension at the end of the film and resolve his own problems, we feel that.
But I handled it like a champion.
Miles is telling us to go and solve our problems, to not run and ignore them, but to face them head on, to take a leap of faith. It's in that very idea that Peter and Miles change for the better. In our current generation, I think it's very easy to think that if you aren't the best at something, then you're certainly the worst. We have a messed up culture in the sense that failure isn't being used as like a stepping block, but rather a reason to stop altogether. I think that's why a character like Spider-Man is so important and valuable to us. Imagine if Peter Parker never became Spider-Man because of his failure to save Uncle Ben. Imagine if he took that failure as a reason to stop altogether. Tying back to what I said earlier, the reason why I love Spider-Man is because he taught me it's okay to stuff up. It's all good if you fail. With the current and previous live-action Spider-Man properties, I've felt kind of distant. I don't relate to a kid who's sad all the time. I can't relate to a kid who loses his $1 million suit because he didn't listen. But I can certainly relate to letting people down. I totally understand what it's like to bury and lose a loved one. And I definitely relate to giving up. And that's the beauty of Spider-Man and the wonderful imagination of Stan Lee and Steve Ditko, who brought this timeless character into our universe. You see, Spider-Man is an idea. It doesn't really matter if you're a boy, a girl, or like a goddamn pig. Anyone and anything could be Spider-Man. I'm Spider-Man. You watching this, you're Spider-Man. You know, we are all Spider-Man. So before I wrap this up, I want to say thank you to Stan, Steve, Peter, Robert, Rodney, Phil, Chris, Avi, and most importantly, Spider-Man himself, for inspiring this individual and millions of others. Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. So I want to say thank you very much for watching this video. I will be back super soon with like a Harry Potter ranking, analysis, hot take sort of video, because I recently watched all of them for the first time and that was a bit of an experience. So if you like this video, subscribe. I want to thank you very much for letting me hit 48,000 subscribers. It's freaking insane. And yeah, here's to 48,000 more. Let's go. Let's do it, boys and girls. Let's do it. Yeah, so thank you very much for watching and I will see you very, very, very soon. Bye bye.